cut and thrust of Haydock to the sleepy rural idyll. From one man and his pub to one man and his dog.
You stole my heart, someone said, but that will never be true.
You might not choose to serenade your bitch, but then again, you haven't spent the last 4 years sleeping in a corner of the bar.
I gave...
In a broken down corner of a broken down land, there's a broken down pub with a broken down man and a town afloat on cider with time on its hands.
We were told by an old lady when we first came to Berkeley that as soon as you cross one of the bridges into Berkeley, of which there are 4, the lethargy takes over and you just want to go into that laid-back feeling and not bother to do anything till tomorrow. And her son called it the Berkeley lethargy, apparently. I think it's true as well.
Is your pub the epicentre of the Berkeley effect?
It is for Steve.
Steve, 49, lives in the pub, sleeps in the bar for the last 4 years.
He'd sit in front of that fire in the bar, just fall asleep. And one night it was really, really cold and I just said to the bar staff, we'd just leave him.
How long ago was that you just decided to leave him?
That was 4.5 years ago. I've offered him a bed, you know. He doesn't have to sleep in the bar. I offered him a room upstairs and he didn't want it.
You can see, Sandra, can't you? It's a fairly bizarre situation you've got there.
Oh yeah, it is. But I think it's gone on for so long, it just seems normal to us now. You know, yeah, it is a bizarre... People think it's a bizarre situation. I don't even think about it anymore. I don't even think it's strange anymore.
Did you think that might happen? You might become a permanent...
No, never even... You know, I mean, he'd sort of stay a few nights and then he'd go back and then he'd stay another few nights and go back. And then I don't know how it happened that he just stayed. It just, I suppose, one day he just didn't go back. We didn't notice.
Berkeley is that sort of town, and the Mariners is that sort of pub. There's a musty, fusty smell, dozy coal fires, and dusty dead things on the mantelpiece. Steve used to work upholstering, but it's been some years since he last tangled with a poof. How does he start the day and what happens?
He'll come in the morning. No, I'll come in the morning, sorry. And he is supposed to have lit the fires. And invariably the bar one will be lit because that's his bedroom. But then he'll ignore the one in the lounge. And then I say to him, Steve, you will light the fire in the lounge? Yes, I'll do it in a minute. But he's really easily distracted. So if somebody comes in he likes drinking with, well, you know, the fire can wait. Then the dog goes for a walk, so the fire can wait. And then something else happens, so the fire still waits.
Berkeley is the last place in England where people still take snuff and really do say, ooh, ah.
I'd like me tot of cider and a pinch of snuff. And that's me settled.
The morning rush is over. Time to knuckle down to the daily grind.
He puts things off. If he says to me, I'll do that for you this afternoon, or I'll have that done by next week. You know, yeah, I'll have that done. It'll be done for you by Sunday. And he really believes that he will. But there's just so many things that can get in the way between what he says today and you know, what he really means. And I honestly think he does believe that he's telling you the truth. In his head, he would really like to have that done for you by Sunday.
What sort of relationship do you have with Steve, then?
Oh, I don't know, really. Mother, I think. Definitely mother.
You're not old enough.
I know, but it's sort of that sort of relationship, really.
Sandra's married to someone else, but in many ways, she and Steve are the odd couple. Her pub, his refuge, in a sleepy town, going slow.
normally go anywhere. He goes to Dursley once a fortnight to pick up his dole money. And then he goes to Katie's on a Sunday to have his Sunday lunch. But sometimes he doesn't get there till Monday because he can't be bothered to move. Or if everybody's in and he's having too much of a good time, then he doesn't go.
In Barclay, the streams run with booze, the pubs fill up mid-afternoon, and the Mariners' clientele settles down to teasing Steve.
Have you not changed the barrel, Steve?
Why you change the barrel? You change the gas.
Anything to do with it? That was all.
I want to know why he's still awake.
Ah, now that's a good question. Everybody in the pub who really knows him, really knows what he's like, you know. You've only got to speak to a few people and you can see they're all fond of him.
Misunderstood then.
But are they fond of him in the way that you'd be fond of the dog in a pub?
I hope not.
Do you know what I mean? Some
Yeah,
kind of
like a
familiar-
pet, yeah. No, I think that they really care about him. You know, they sort of make fun of him for different reasons, usually because he hasn't done anything or he hasn't done something, you know.
Ah, but it was Christmas time, wasn't it? You know. So.
No, it wasn't Christmas time. When he brought it down, it was something like October.
Steve fulfills a valuable role at the Mariners. If the rest of the world looks down on you, you can always look down on Steve.
No, there's 13 parts to a bloody cushion. That takes a lot of sewing and cutting.
Takes a lot of
What, 13 parts to a cushion, and you've got to be 3 parts pissed before you look at it.
That is correct. Oh, shit, that was it, please.
He was necking down a fair few of those tankards of cider today. How many of those does he get through, do you reckon?
Depends how much he sleeps. The less he sleeps, the more he drinks.
But is he a bit of a major alky?
I suppose doctors would say he was. A doctor would say he was. Yeah,
And a publican would say he's a good client.
excellent.
The trouble is
This morning
When you live in a public bar, it's hard to have a private life. Steve, his past life stuffed into a wardrobe in the Skittle Alley. You know the Skittle Alley at the back there? You know that cupboard back there?
Yes, Stevie's wardrobe.
Is that everything he's got?
That's everything he possesses, which is quite a lot more than he came with. Because people give him things. Yeah, he's gained a lot more. He never had a wardrobe. He only had to carry a bag when he came, with a few bits and pieces.
Yes.
Do you own anything you really care about? Have you got anything that's precious to you?
Yeah.
What is it?
He's in the bar. My son. That's the only thing that's really precious to me.
Is he what keeps you going?
Oh, he's what keeps you going, all right? Our bond is quite strong between me and Seb. You do anything for me, and I'll do anything for him. No problem.
Yeah. Sexiest man alive.
Me?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Steve,
I don't know
pub
who's
drunk,
that there.
mascot of the Mariners' Arms, father.
Short start, grab me his arm up.
What's happened in his life for him to end up living in a pub?
I would say it was probably the breakup of his marriage. I think he was pretty devastated at the time. And then he sort of just drifted along, and he spent a lot of time in the Barclay Arms before I took Mariners.
Must have been quite hurtful for him.
Oh, I think it was, yeah. I think it probably hit him quite hard. That probably was the start of things going wrong for him.
That brings back memories. That's me and me boy.
He's a nice looking boy, isn't he?
Ah, good lad. That's me, me wife and the baby.
You're all trim and dapper there, aren't you?
Oh,
What's happened then? What's happened?
what happened was, I got home from work one night. She was sat on the kitchen floor. I thought she'd had an accident, so I rushed her and said, what the hell's the matter with you? You hurt yourself, what's that? She just sat there, started crying, said, I'm leaving you. I said, hey? What the hell for? Where are you going? Who else is involved? Oh, he said, nobody else involved. So I want to go live with my mum's. I said, yeah, but why? You know, what's the problem? Because she had a lovely house. I said, fair play, I mean, she's a good housekeeper. She kept it spick and span. She was really house proud. Put it this way, I wasn't allowed to sit in the front room. That was her showpiece. That's how house proud she was. So I used to live in the kitchen. And she just up and went.
Do you mind me asking, was it about drinking?
No, I didn't used to drink that much. I used to go out for the night. When I go home from work, I used to go down to the local pub called the Carpenter's Arms. Just get down there with the lads, have a couple of games of dominoes, 4 or 5 pints, that was it. Then go home, take the dog for a walk over the field. And that was it. The next morning, get up, have breakfast, go to work.
Why did she go then?
Sorry?
Why did she go?
Well, that's what I can't understand. That's what I can't understand. Got it. Whoosh.
That was 12 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 12 years ago that was.
Get put on.
It's a long time to get over something, isn't it?
Well, when you're in love with a girl, you've been in love with her for like all your life until she departed the post. Yeah, it's a long time to get over somebody. Because when it's somebody you love, I still love her, to be quite honest. But I know she's never going to come back, so that's it, you know, finito. But I've still got, you know, fond memories.
Can you ever see him settling with anybody else?
No.
You say that a bit quicker.
I don't know whether any woman would put up with him.
Well, you do.
Well, I do, yeah. I'm not married to him, though. Somebody was down walking the dog the other morning and some woman said to him, oh, he said, I must pop up to the pub to see your wife. And he went, wife? And she said, just a blonde lady behind the bar. And he said, that's not my wife. He said, that's the landlady. And then he came back and he was telling me this. And he said, oh, he said, that's all I need. So I said, don't you think it should be me that's saying that? That's all I need is you, Steve.
Time.
Yeah.
4 years living in a bar with no thought of the future. What's going to happen now, Steve? What's going to happen in 2 years? What's going to happen in 5 years?
I don't know, we've got to sort that out. We've got to sort that out.
And you could argue, Steve, that living in a pub is kind of, it's a temporary arrangement.
You could say.
Whereas if you had to set up house somewhere else, that would be kind of acknowledging that the past is gone, isn't going to come back. Whereas here you're in a
That's very true.
Here you're in a halfway house.
Halfway in.
Is it good for him?
Probably not. No, it's probably too easy. You know, he's got someone to cook his meals, nag him a bit now and again. I worry about him if I start thinking about leaving the pub, yes. I don't worry about him all the time I'm there. But, yeah, if I think, you know, I thought, well, maybe 2 or 3 years more at the pub. And then maybe I can have time for myself. And then if I think like that, then I start to worry about him, yeah. But other than that, life goes on as it always does, and you tend not to think about what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year.
In the Mariners, you don't think about tomorrow. You just let it float away.
Here you go.
I never see you out on the street, and you know that.
I know that, dear. I know that.
So one.
That's what I like about you.
The odd couple in the quiet back bar, a fug of emotion in a sea of booze.
I think you're a sort of like I said, you're like a single mother. Really. I worship the Grady World Club.
I know that. I know that, actually, Steve. I think I do know that.
Well, you've been more like a mother to me, if you know what I mean.
Hey, Steve. I love you. You know that. I love you.
There's a woody dark corner of a smoky dark bar with a broken down man and a cider jar.